the goop.
Yeah, we went hard with the goop. Yeah.
That was something that it's like when we were having a look at Smite 1, we're like, okay, well, what are the important things to keep in with Jormungandr? What's kind of his theme?
He's looking nice, buddy. Big snake.
One of it was like kind of that toxic goop going on. Some of it was like, the blue, purples, and pinks as well.
So where are we starting?
Where are we starting? All right, I have a big list of notes. I said that not much has changed, but there's still a whole bunch of stuff that I wanted to talk about. All right, so we'll start at the beginning.
Okay.
Which is his basic attacks. So one of the things that was talking about, you went to the right spot because usually we don't have a lot of basic attack information, and if we do, it might be on the passive, and Jormungandr's basic attacks would kind of on his passive.
Okay.
Now we're just putting it here because, well, you'll see. So. One of the things was that we soft reworked how the basic attack overheating and cooling worked on the back end for Jormungandr. For the players, it's not going to seem like there's too much change, but previously he was using this unyieldy algorithm that was doing a whole bunch of unnecessary complicated stuff. Now we can just straight up tell you, like, the base overheat rate is 1.5. The base cooling rate just is 2.5. Now those tick at a rate of 0.1 seconds, and he's got that passive meter, which is going to help. Like, this is just how the ability works, and we can even just reveal that to you. While in Smite 1, that just
that looks nice.
Like, we just have to give you a formula.
Look at that goop.
That looks nice.
So we soft reworked how that works.
I don't remember what it looks like in Smite 1.
That the timing, there will be a tiny bit of difference. I think 1 second, actually more lenient towards the overheating and cooling for Jormungandr. That being said,
I don't remember what it looked like in Smite 1, but that looks better.
There's going to be some new gimmicks on there too. So some of the things that you might be able to notice already if you're an astute Snake player, Snake enjoyer, is that the attack speed conversion has actually changed. So from Smite 1 to Smite 2. So now it's going to be affecting the overheat rate, not the cooling rate. Because I was kind of looking at that before, and some of the stuff we do in Smite 1 is almost just like legacy and what we were able to do technically at the time. But if you're going attack speed, you kind of want to be able to be at a faster rate more often, not the fact that you can regain your cooling faster. So now you're not attacking faster, but you're able to stay in the faster attack rate for longer.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, so that's one thing. Other things that I'm
how
sure people are going to want to know
quickly
about
the
is that your
bar
basic
goes
attacks
down,
will be
goes
able to
slower,
proc
the
item
more
effects
attack
and
speed
will
you
be able
have,
to
meaning
crit.
the
Okay.
longer
That one more
duration you're
time.
in,
Yeah.
the
You can
faster
see that he
attack
does have,
score, which
the
makes more
lower
sense.
scaling. It's
Rather than how
40%
quickly you can
strength
gain
instead
it
of
back,
100%, obviously that would be
that makes more
obscene.
sense.
He does hit at 5 attacks per second, so he is still doing, he is still
that makes
over
way more
the 100
sense.
percent DPS per second, but then obviously he's going to be scaling that lower and lower and lower based on his kind of overheat mechanics.
So basically you stay
You
in
can
the
do all that
faster
fun
auto
stuff.
attacking
It also does say
proc
there
fast,
20%
longer,
because you can go things like Arrow's Bow, which for the record, by the way, today was twice as strong. It was actually set to that 40%. So I literally just before coming here, me and Josh
Josh has been spamming the Arrow's Bow Yorm in playtest, and it actually just heals for a ton. So.
Super sustained.
Well, that's because it was twice as good as it should be.
Well,
now it'll be slightly less, but maybe it's actually was fine, and 20% is too low.
We'll see. We'll see.
So
We'll see a flash test later today.
Okay. Now I noticed when I hit Ymir.
Wait.
Does it work?
Okay. So
before you even do that.
Oh, okay.
This is a good example of you can see.
Yes.
You can
great,
see.
Great
Yeah.
point. We added
Scooch. So if you scooch closer to the god, you can see the outline of the god through Yorm.
This was new tech that was added by Tech.
That's fantastic.
Is you can now see enemies that
that's
are inside
fantastic.
Your basic attack range, and it'll be. It might only just be for enemies, but before you wouldn't be able to see.
So now people aren't
going
to be blocked and you can't see. Oh, that's great.
Now you can actually kind of see a little bit more about what's going around you.
Yeah.
This was something that we actually thought about doing.
Acts like a wall almost.
Yeah,
that's huge quality of life.
It's frustrating. We actually thought about doing something like this in Smite 1, but there was a lot of discontent and just concern over. That you just wouldn't be able to see yourself properly, because like if you do that, you're losing yourself a little bit. Now if there's 5 enemies or minions, whatever, it might be a bit. But we went back and revisited on Smite 2. We're like, no, this just looks better. It is better, and the quality of life and the clarity is way more important than the fact that sometimes you might
I don't care if I can't see my body because there's a red outline over it.
While you're playing it, it feels even more natural than like looking at it in video, because like the first time that this was turned on for a playtest. The people that played Yorm did not even realize that it had been added.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I felt like I could see better. It was like, okay, sweet, we're doing good things.
Is this dev or is this?
This is dev.
This is dev.
Am I supposed to be on PTS? Too late. Run dev.
But can you go to the trees? I want to see if that tech is in as well. So if you go to the trees, so this is also new tech that we just added, which is tree calling tech, which I think will actually be there for every god, but Jormungandr will be affected by it more. Which is you can see those trees and the vegetation specifically calling away, so he's not as frustrated by the camera angles while you're inside the jungle. So you can see right there, that is something that would not have worked in Smite 1.
The tree would have just been in your way.
Yeah.
Great quality of life.
Came in real hot, so if there's any issues with that, definitely let us know, because this was something that we definitely wanted to play around with, and the team went above and beyond.
Chat says huge. He is huge.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool. So then, yeah, for more information on the basic attack stuff and all that stuff, check out that basic attack panel.
Sorry for the detour there, but I felt like because you could see it, it was a good thing to talk about.
I didn't have that on my notes.
We've
as
got
well,
all
so that's
day.
awesome.
We can take our time. There's no rush.
All right, so now we're talking about what Hindu was talking about.
Yeah, what is this
which
purple
the
line
passive.
about?
So okay, so one,
Pink.
the
Fuchsia,
hard,
I guess.
the hard
Magenta?
displacement.
Magenta.
There you go. The hard displacement aspect of his passive of immovable is exactly the same as
Quality
it was
left
in
changes
Smite
are
1.
great,
So if you
yeah.
hover over that,
Yep.
if you get affected by any hard displacement effects, which is listed there as banish, grabs, levitates, and vortex effects, knockbacks being knock-ups as well, and knock straight-ups and all those things, you get hit by that dazed debuff, which is just a 15% slow and a 5% damage increase for 2 seconds. That is just the way it was in Smite 1. But now there's actually, so this is the bigger +1, which is when you hit enemies, get enemy gods with basic attacks and the venomous haze ticks, there's a little bit of a caveat on that, you'll start applying a debuff stack. You'll see that by that magenta kind of bar goes up. Once that hits max, your next time that you proc that will actually deal a burst of damage to that enemy, either dealing magical damage, which is scales off of your health, or scaling off of your strength if your strength is higher. So
interesting. So whichever one's higher, it'll go
Yeah,
to.
so we can see that for a second, but let's you can base
This
attacks.
is building it up.
Yeah, you're building it up, and then one more, and then you see that 79
So,
drop.
so we just hold it down. You can just keep doing
Yep,
this.
exactly. And then so if you throw your one at them and spit, exactly. You can see that is also ticking with each tick.
Boop.
And
No,
it'll
do
spawn
bonus damage. Applies to minions on the map, objectives on the
No,
map. or
only
just
enemy
gods?
gods. Only enemy gods. So this is kind of that gimmick.
You
that
can
we kinda
see
teased
through
around
it now, though,
before,
Bobicles.
where
That wasn't that your main
You
concern?
do your whole kit. You use your.
Oh, okay.
One, you
No,
burst
he's
out
the
with your
same-
three, you
he's
throw
the
things
same
through the
width
two, and you've got your basic
as
attacks, and
Smite
that
1.
feels generally pretty good. But now there's just a little bit more of that game.
Same width as
as
Smite 1. The difference is you can see through him.
Chasing them down with your one. You want to still. You have this goal of trying to burst those poison stacks and apply.
And the field of vision is a
Someone
little
just
bit
has some
different.
chat, does it time out? And you can see
Yes.
it does time off
So
after a few seconds.
If you hover over that passive information, I want to
Yeah.
clarify on a few things. So the debuff duration lasts 4 seconds. It's not super long.
Okay.
It's 10 stacks, and then technically the 11th application will be what bursts. But yeah, whichever is higher. So you can see it there. You have actually 2 numbers.
Yep.
PB boy.
I ran into this before with like Sun Wukong, and people just wanted more information. You're not doing both things. Whichever one is higher, it's either 5% of your max health or 100% of your strength. So if you start building more into strength, and you might even start like Jormungandr as a strength build or a hybrid build, and you'll start seeing like that your health, your base health, will still be higher until you buy
So
enough
whichever
strength.
is higher.
And then
So if you're
whichever
building
is
strength
higher,
and health, it'll go for
it'll
whichever one's higher
probably be
overall.
health for quite a while.
It should
to
be,
actually
but
dip
yeah.
into that 100% strength, you're
Okay.
going to really need to go into a strength build, but that is viable because of the on-hit basic attack
I have a
stuff.
very important question.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is a levitate?
Levitate, I think technically was Cerberus's ulti. I don't know if we use it in many other places, but I just kept it just in case.
Okay, just in case.
I can
we use it.
absolutely
I
use
was
it
like,
now
I was
for
like,
it.
I know all of these CC types, but what the heck is a levitate?
I think that was previously
Okay.
Cerberus, but I don't know if that's technically true anymore.
Maybe
so.
Mordredal. Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. We can keep
Okay,
going.
Yes.
That's
okay,
Spanish.
so
Passive?
that's the
Passive?
biggest part about his passive and his +1s. So that's mostly it. The rest of his kit is going to be a lot more similar to before.
And
yeah,
I would say that like during the dev process,
Show
we
us the kit.
experimented with a lot more +1s, but they felt like they were just like adding stuff to add stuff.
yeah,
Kind of.
we wanted to be careful there.
Yeah.
and even with the basic attack change and the passive change, that's going to be a lot of almost like even just added damage and
Yeah,
added just
for sure.
components to it that we want to be careful. So okay, so AO1, his first ability, Venomous Haze. 2 things here. One a little bit more important than the other. One is, so you can see it works just the way you saw before. He's got the timer indicator. It lasts 20 seconds, and it kind of has, anytime you interact with it with your 2 or your 3, it'll go to that base 8 seconds, just like in Smite 1. But there's one new component, or 2 new components. One which is, while you are within the Venomous Haze itself, so if you just chill inside of it, like if you as Jormungandr are inside of the Venomous Haze,
Chilling.
that cooling effect that used to be there for the attack speed conversion is actually going to be here now instead. So if you use your basic attacks, and then so you
it's
can actually see it's
fighting
almost like
me. It's
fighting
fighting,
itself, and if you
yeah.
let go, exactly, you just speed up the cooling even
So
faster.
standing in your
that cooling
pools
effect does
will
still exist. It's
give you
while
back
lingering
your
within
auto
these
attacks
AO1
faster while fighting
so
in your pools.
stand in your pools, and you can attack a lot.
Yes,
Longer,
exactly.
faster. Yeah, for
Longer.
Not fair, but closer.
The other thing is,
Do they stack on top of themselves?
no, I don't think these ones do, but that'll be important later.
Okay.
The other thing that's there that this was mentioned by the ambassadors, like Jormungandr's got all this poison stuff going on. It just kind of makes sense that the toxicity is probably going to be implying that healing reduction, anti-heal effect. So
Okay.
we
So it's an anti-heal
expanded
ability.
upon that with some gods, but the
Anti-heal
AO1,
makes sense.
Debuff will also be applying healing reduction.
Healing reduction,
25%.
25%
And
on
that's
his
the
on his
same as
pools.
every god, and those don't
Yes.
stack with each other,
Exactly,
right?
don't
It's just
stack, no.
if you are hit with
typical god
anti-heal from a god that has anti-heal, you are at 25%.
All right, 2 and 3 much more simple. I mean, honestly, like I said,
Okay.
the rest of his kit much more simple and in line. His 2 does exactly what it used to do. You suck up the energy from nearby venom stays pools, and it expands the ring of your 2. Oh, they added some extra effects there. That's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you do that. It grows up to 3 times, but now the buff here is actually that it used to do less damage based on subsequent damage effects, but now I think past 3. But now if you have more than 3 pools, which is unlikely, you'll actually just be doing the same amount of damage. That bonus damage that's there is technically uncapped, but the scaling is capped at 3.
Just show it on that real quick. And I'll actually hack it.
Yeah, and some people are commenting that like the radius looks a little bit different. Part of it is that the
Field of
camera
vision
angle
is- yeah, the
just
field
a
of vision is
little
different.
bit different than Smite 1.
That's why I
this,
said his
Josh
model
talked
isn't
about this a little bit on the
actually
Monday show, but,
smaller.
like,
It's just a little bit more
there was
zoomed out.
no great way to, even if we wanted to bring over the camera angle exactly the same as it was from Smite 1. So we took a new stab at it and came up with what we thought was the best possible camera angle for Jorm in Smite 2.
Yeah.
So it's because of that ability looks a little bit bigger just because of the camera angle.
Yeah, we didn't do any massive tweaks to like the animation. Like I would say that his animation should be basically the exact same. The effects were the biggest ones that would change for sure. Yeah, so the main thing on the AO2 is that it grows up to 3 times as normal, but the bonus damage is
Increased
actually
duration underground, yeah.
and does not have subsequent damage reduction.
Just see the size differences. You got more pools now.
Yeah, and you can see as well, just as usual, because I didn't mention it, is that he does have that empowerment effects, which is cool. Actually, I haven't seen that effects before. Which is he'll have his unlimited like overheat rate. So you just do that in the basic attack. 2 seconds per pool. You can see his passive.
2
is
seconds
not
per
drained.
pool.
Lord.
So
Okay.
yep.
Cool. This next thing for the AO3, so the AO3 hasn't changed as well. Submerge.
Jungle Jorm clear speed, by the way.
Ooh, yeah, Jungle Jorm clear speed does feel good, especially with Boombas as well. Like we actually found a bug with Boombas, but that's a separate issue that we then went to fix. Yes, so Submerge works exactly the way it did before, which is when you go underneath the ground, you're stealth, you gain movement speed, and you can refire to knock up enemies. You also have that pulsing kind of sonar.
Oh, the
effect,
three
which helps
audio
you
sounds
heal
great.
enemies
A lot of
over the
bass.
walls. You can kind of see that. It does have a range to it, so it's definitely not unlimited range. One new thing about it though is that we actually gave it the Loki stealth like flicker reveal, so that Jormungandr, if you hit Jormungandr, he will no longer reveal himself instantly and lose that sonar effect. He'll actually just do the pulsing reveal. It's like it'll be definitely
that's
more
bad.
obvious, like,
So
when
that's
God's
the
hit you.
issue.
So he will be a
Within
little bit
Smite
more of a
1, when you
stealthy
were
snake
hit,
than
you
ever
were just revealed. Now it's like low
yeah,
key
and then
where you
interactions with
stay
Same interactions
invisible.
with the 3. You
So
split
people can
those
still
out,
track you if
they
they're
form
good,
two
but you just don't lose your invisibility completely.
Yeah, if you've never played Jorm before, the general flow while laning is 1, 3, 2. You know, you make a pool, you expand the pool, you get a big 2 out of it.
Yeah,
just
Jorm's
reveal
3 will still
characters.
reveal stealth characters.
And also over walls, you can see him just gain some vision there in the middle.
I like how it
Two
literally
Jorms, like,
travels
in their
out and you
threes
can
together
see
will
it
just keep revealing
like
Can he crit some
sequentially.
last time?
Yes, he can still.
Like you can
Oh,
see the
okay.
Ymir
That
closer, then
reduced,
farther away, like it's
reduced
actually a
That's
pulse.
as we said there.
Yes.
Okay.
And then, is the ult all we have left?
The ult is all we have left, I think.
Show it.
And then a little bit.
Well, and then we have
the
other
ult is
stuff.
one or
But
two
I mean,
more
from the
things.
kit, from the
Yeah,
kit, at least.
kind of. I wanted to clarify one more thing, but yeah, it's the ult. There's a whole bunch of tweaks, and kind of like Kilgoon and Josh were saying earlier, is that the camera system is entirely new, and
What
you
is
know,
the
we
goose
wanted to
skin
make sure
from
that it was. We wanted to make sure that that it felt as similar to Smite 1 as possible, or even better in certain cases. But gameplay-wise, it's mostly the same. The biggest changes. So if you want to go ahead and use it,
Sure.
you'll see that the
here it
rectangle
is.
crash component is larger than it was before.
Oh,
You kinda
buddy.
yeah, there is a couple bugs. One of them is that Jorm's untextured right now, sometimes it's salty. So
It's fine.
that-
it's
that's
fine.
what we
It's
found
still
out.
Don't issue.
It actually just cropped up today, so that's kind of surprising. But yeah, there's a whole new thing. You just wanted Jorm's ulti is not the easiest thing to use, but 2 things we'll see here immediately, other than the untextured component, which we're not keeping now, is that the rectangle is larger. It doesn't do any more damage than it did. Also, it's much more well defined. So shout out to Arthur for a lot of the effects. You can just see it a lot better.
Yeah.
But the other thing that Hindu was doing a little bit there, kind of not on purpose, which is the min range is changed, so you can actually cast it, like you can overlap the initial starting radius. So that will make it a lot easier to use on enemy
close
gods who are
range
trying to
target.
That's
just
good.
juke underneath you. Way harder way easier to finally get that. It's not super easy, but it's gonna be way easier. That being said, and I want to give the caveat that one of the reasons why we had the min range in Smite 1 was because it looks a little bit goofy at this range. Like when you're underneath it, and if you're just doing it at the minimum, like if you try and get like kind of parallel to the ground or whatever it is, like it looks a little bit janky, but it's not too bad. Like we're just like, this is gonna just still be a quality of life increase. But yes, it does look a tiny bit janky with the tiny little loop and then that crash down. So yeah, there'll still be that. And then finally, the last tiny +1 on the ulti was that we shortened the time between
Pharma's ADHD
attacks,
kicking in.
these leaps,
They're like, yeah,
by
sorry, right now
0.1 seconds. So not
sometimes
very
there's
long,
a bug
but
where it comes out
directly
untextured.
over
We're
3
fixing
leaps,
that. And
that's
Pharma's like,
23
why does it
seconds.
look
And
weird?
it just feels
He's
just
like,
a
I didn't
little bit
listen.
cleaner.
I didn't listen at all.
That was done purposely. So it's a buff, but it's very much was meant to be a quality.
Oh, staring, you're
Okay.
right.
Yep.
The sound where he goes under, there's like a bass every
earlier
time
this
he
week
hits.
in
It
playtest.
really is
The
very,
crash down
very good
was dealing
dopamine.
damage to
Oh yeah.
allies.
Yeah, that was.
It was a bug.
Really?
And
That's a feature.
I had gotten away from a fight.
You got hit by your own
Got
Yorm?
hit by my own
It was very funny.
Yorm crash down. I was like, what the hell? I died to my own Yorm? I was like, is this a +1 I didn't know about or something? A -1? But no, it's just about to fix it.
Still got some good distance.
Last week it was also hitting towers. Yes, that's true. Yeah.
Glad to hear Kilgoon
Okay,
crashes
cool.
out
So
just like I
that's
do.
Everything to do
What
with
the fuck
kit.
was this? He's saying about his own game.
Smite 1 with
I
a lot
hope
of
I could
small
hear
tweaks
Kilgoon
throughout
say, "What the
kit to
fuck,
make it
Smite?"
feel a lot cleaner, a little bit more easy to use, as well as the main gameplay changes being on his base attacks and the passive.
Does Yorm reveal gods in bushes?
I think so. I need to double check.
I
but,
can try
mean,
that
is
a
he
bot
in
and
a
see
bush?
if
Yeah, you can
that'll
spawn a
work
bot
real
inside of a bush.
quick. He
Does-
says,
does-
"Are we gonna be able to do this?"
I should do the basic reveal plus stealth. So let's,
You in there? Did I even put him in the bush? Are you kidding me?
yeah, it's surprising.
Okay, he's in the bush now.
Or you're in the
It's
bush
not
though.
working. No.
Oh, bots just don't care, actually. Okay, so we'll have to
bots
test
never
that
care.
separately.
However, I expect it would.
Oh, can you actually, it won't be there until Gold Fury is killed. I actually haven't tested. Can you go ahead and kill Gold Fury?
Sure.
I actually haven't seen this myself, so we're gonna be learning this live.
What's the, there's a command to make it easy, right?
Tower killer.
Tower killer? Yeah.
Listen, the commands I don't know nothing about.
Yeah, and you can also
They
turn
wouldn't
tower
give me
killer
them
off
in
and
live
space.
for safety chat. I understand why.
So yeah, tower killer, space one.
Tower killer.
Tower
space
killer,
one.
all one word.
Yeah.
Space one.
We're gonna see it all. Space one.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
So
3K.
go ahead and use a wind sprite. I want to see what happens.
Ah, well, I actually know we've got an update for what happens here. You get mobility as a
Okay.
Jormungandr.
Yes.
It's
So
supposed to
it
be-
does.
you're gonna get a
It
movement
is there.
speed
There we go.
buff.
Cool.
It's
So
what's
shout
gonna
outs to
happen.
Madzeneski. We on the
Yeah.
last Titan Talk when we discussed this, there was a lot of people going like, because I mentioned that wind sprites aren't gonna allow
I
him
wouldn't
to
even
get
mind if he
knocked back,
got
and
no
it affects-
buff.
It gets hit by his passive and he dazes himself.
I wouldn't even mind
went
if
back
he
to
got
Jessica and was like,
no buff, I'll be
I
honest
was
with
like,
you.
I think that's funny. I think you were willingly doing a button to hurt yourself, but there were a lot of people who were like, let's not hurt our friends. Like it should still provide a buff. So Jormungandr specifically.
Oh, absolutely.
Jormungandr uses a wind sprite.
Absolutely, I am ready.
Jormungandr will instead
Every
gain
time.
very short duration movement speed buff. So to kind of help that.
Just to help him out in that regard.
Agility relic should just work. You just do a dash. Yeah, it's not a
And
swing or a leap.
Is Agility Relic give him the melee passive, the ranged passive? I guess neither
Oh, he's
of them?
technically he's a melee, so he would theoretically he would have the melee.
Okay.
passive.
Just going to shot for a second. I gotta be careful what I show as well.
Um,
Oh yeah, I just did a little.
Yeah, you do a little hop forwards.
Yeah.
It's kind of cute.
just a tiny little stinky hop.
Slide.
Yeah,
His
but for
range
me,
auto
I don't
attack
mind.
ability?
Like if he comes with the benefit of not being able to be
Player's been helping a lot,
CC'd
but,
negatively,
I'm
I don't
very
mind if
thankful
he's CC'd
for
positively
somebody
either.
that I choose to shoot at range.
So I
Okay,
wouldn't care
so
about
last
it,
thing
but
that I
giving
want
him
to
a little bit of
mention
movement speed is fine.
is
But I
that
personally don't care about it. If he
Yorm
can't be
does
CC'd
have
negatively,
hybrid
I don't
skill.
care if he can
So we
also
talked
not be
about his
CC'd
base attacks,
positively.
He's got the in-hand 40%.
You just can't move him.
Difference.
He
and
can't
he's got
move
that
himself.
attack speed conversion. Both of those things are definitely going to matter.
You can't
and the fact
CC
that his
him, he
in-hand
can't CC
items
himself,
will proc
so actually I don't
at,
mind.
the 40% amount. But also his 2, his 3, and his 4 all have some level of strength scaling to it. The main caveat being the 2's bonus damage does not have strength scaling, it only has int scaling, but the bellow itself does, and the 3 submerge damage and the 4, all components of it have strength scaling. So if you
Okay.
do want strength scaling, strength builds are possible and are viable. And
It would make sense because then the passive has strength.
Yeah.
exactly,
involved.
and the passive
Yeah.
has that strength kind of
basically.
switch.
These crazy numbers are because of Tower Killer chat, right?
Oh,
Obviously,
yeah, yeah, that's
obviously,
right.
we're
No,
dealing
actually,
9,000
I
damage.
don't think so.
It's fine. It's fine.
You can tower killer space 0 to turn that off as well.
And
yeah, so
you go.
Sunbeam Bow does work.
Sunbeam Bow, Braggies, all those effects do work. I think Sunbeam Bow is probably the most ridiculous one.
Okay.
That being said, let us know. We have that new valve of the item proc being at 40%. We can change it down to 30, 10, whatever we find to be balanced. We have tried a few on-hit item builds. Funnily enough, hybrid scaling is probably hybrid tanky strength might end up being more viable, because while you can get to some ridiculous numbers, and if you get on top of someone, it does do a lot of damage with these on-hit builds. So yeah, if you want to go ahead and show it off, we totally can.
What do you want to do?
Just go
I saw
like
the Hexstone one, but I'll go
Oh
on.
no, you can Hexstone. Go like Sunbeam Bow,
Sunbeam.
Odie Bow.
Okay.
You can definitely do all of those things, and you can do a lot of
Odie.
damage.
Gosh.
But
Top of
the main
it.
thing that Jorm kind of struggles with, even with this item build, so the main caveat is that you're in this melee mid-range kind of, you're trying to melee mid-range, and it's not that easy to do that. So if a mage or a hunter kind of plays at the medium to long range, it's really easy to
Oh
kind
my
of,
goodness.
it's pretty crazy.
Okay. That looks really cool.
So I think I'm very curious to see how strong it's actually going to be in practice. It will feel strong. It will feel good. I think there are going to be viable builds, maybe overpowered builds. But yeah, let us know what it feels like. I think it's more fun to see it be viable than for it to just not even exist.
Okay.
Is there?
Oh.
Can we? People have been asking, what does the action cam
Yeah.
look like?
Okay. So
sorry.
there's-
Am I?
No. That's the next
skipping
thing.
ahead? Oh,
that's literally
funny.
on the
That's
next thing on
funny.
my list. So yeah, you can go ahead and change to action camera. One or two technically have the same viewport. So gameplay or
that?
controls, gameplay.
Gameplay?
Yeah, camera mode top at the very top. You're already there.
I see it. Okay.
Yep. You can change the action cam. So he's got his own custom action cam,
Over
where
the
he's a little bit to the over the shoulder,
Yeah.
to the left a little bit, like you'd expect. Nothing too crazy there. But Hindu, do you have the other thing?
Ew.
I
Nice.
do, but I'll have to switch back
Okay.
to it if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Ew, I
When
don't
we
like
come
that.
out to look at the masteries and stuff, I'll
Okay.
showcase that.
We
real
do
quick.
have let's
Well, this
come
is
back
how
to
the
this bullet
action
point
camera-
because we did a play around with another action camera view, but it was not going to work out.
Yeah, we'll show you what action cam would have looked like if we didn't do some additional work to this.
Well, it's
Right?
It definitely wasn't default like that.
Hold up. I'll bring us back to cams real
Oh,
quick.
yeah,
I'll
you wanna
just
show it
pull
off immediately?
real
Okay,
quick. Yeah, I
cool.
can just do it now while we've got a second. Just got a few things, but here's a little look at on your screen
Yeah.
how Jormungandr looked through action.
So I mean,
cam.
Nice.
people talked about what if you can fire from his mouth and stuff, but the problem is
It's like
like
playing through his nose.
yeah,
That's kinda how it feels
it's not quite the same. So I
Yeah.
gave everyone I took this because I wanted to make sure that people had an idea of what it could look like, and yeah, maybe we'll have an action camera 3 one day, but
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna fly.
Yeah, and I will say, remember that for action cam, like main cam, you'll be able to see outlines of gods that are like kind of in that close range to
in this situation
yeah.
here, like you can see on my
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah.
So I think it makes, even though it's a little bit weird, right? I think it is much more workable.
All right, sweet. Do we want to go?
So
to
what's next up? Masteries or aspect?
Aspect?
Aspect. How do I do? I need to
Aspect
command and
Jorm.
go back and I'm guessing for this.
No, there's actually command for it if you want.
Okay, cool.
Now let's switch back to normal cam though for
We
the
should.
normal cam
You are
enjoyers.
right. For normal cam enjoyers, that's me.
Gameplay.
I'm never gonna find this because I've never had to. Okay, classic. There we go. Back to normal. I feel.
Yeah.
What's
Okay.
the aspect command?
So test talent, one
Test,
word,
talent,
space Jormungandr, and you'll start seeing.
space, yawn.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
yep,
on.
There we go.
What's
So
it do?
if you
Hover that.
yeah, if you
icon.
hover over the
Okay,
icon
okay,
by his
okay.
thing, you'll see the full thing. So this is the aspect of the unyielding. The idea here is that it would flex Jormungandr to be more of the supportive side of a guardian rather than the bruiser side of a guardian. It does a few things. One being that the poison clouds will no longer deal any tick damage.
Okay.
But instead, if you or your allies stand within them, kind of like you can for that the cooling, which I'll come back to in a second, they instead get a damage reduction basing off of your scaling with your percentage health from items only.
Okay.
So now if you're an ally of Jorm, it is one other thing to remember, but it is kind of like the Cupid aspect in a way. But yes, you will be able to gain a lot more defenses by being inside of the Venomous Haze Poison Clouds. Well, technically any
Including
poison
for
clouds.
Yorm too, which you can see
Including
that,
for Yorm
I guess,
too,
with
so you can see
these.
that. Decreased
Yeah,
damage
decreased
taken.
damage taken.
So then
Okay.
the other thing there, which is the other bullet points, is that you no longer gain the basic attack cooling, but instead, while within those clouds, which is that second bullet point there, or the first one, but instead your Venomous Haze gets
Lets
much
him opt
faster
into like
cooldown reduction.
support role a lot better
So
than he could in
if
Smite
you,
1.
If you slash cooldowns, or sorry, not slash, but CMD, yeah, use a prompt for cooldowns.
Cooldowns? Okay. Cooldowns, you said, yeah?
Yep.
Just cooldowns?
Yep.
Okay.
And spit your 1 out. Cooldown. Now go inside of it.
Okay.
It is much
Look at the
faster.
tick down. Oh, goodness. Okay.
And then you can fire another one, and then you can put them underneath yourself, and those ones do overlap. So if you're inside these and you want to throw another one, and you're creating more pools, and this will overlap even more. And remember, you're not doing any tick damage, but you are spitting a lot more, and you're creating more defensive positions. But there's a world where I think it is possible to kind of maybe go a ranged in like int build with your so between your defensive builds, between your strength on hit builds, between your bruiser builds, you also potentially have an int build. But like I said, the idea still here is more so for the defensive aspect of it.
And does do the support do the damage mitigation stack, or is that does not?
Damage
stack?
mitigation does not stack.
Okay.
So it's just the cooldown reduction to spit again. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So
That makes sense.
there's the idea there is still more so that you're poking a lot more because you're losing a lot of the damage take on minions.
Yeah.
But you're able to kind of put this like defensively for your allies and then start kind of spitting and kind of creating more zones.
Make
for
more
it.
Do
zones.
they slow still? Did you say that?
They still slow. So yeah,
Okay.
the only thing that's
Okay.
being removed is the damage tick. So not the actual on-hit damage as well.
I think
and
that
then
might need to be
finally,
nerfed if he's
the
able to
second
keep
ability,
throwing that one over and
consuming,
over and over and over and over.
Yeah, Bellow. No longer does any of the.
But then
bonus
again, I
damage
guess
from
he was throwing
consuming
it on top of
Venom's haste
himself.
pools,
That
but
wouldn't be
instead
very
provides
strategic
all
just to
his allies
constantly
and
be throwing it on yourself. Because if you
uh,
had all your
extra
teammates
instant
standing in an area like that, he wouldn't
go.
keep getting that much cooldown.
You
You
get
wouldn't
bonus
just throw it on
strengthening.
yourself
Yes.
over and over.
Okay.
Because then
So
if
it's
everyone
definitely
was
more
standing
that
in it, they
you're not
just
gonna do
die.
as much damage. Yorm still provides some CC, but also
But
give
much more
defenses
utility and
utility for your team.
Exactly.
Okay.
And this is something that we said we were going to do when we first announced Yorm, right? That this is kind of the spot in our rotation where we would traditionally do like a support character. And Yorm is a character that has been played in support. He's been played in solo. He's had a lot of lives, So we just wanted to make sure that like there was a very clear.
Chat, today's a 12-hour stream
supportive
now, by the way.
aspect.
Thanks to
Even more
Drago.
utility for him to play as a support.
And Spicy.
Yeah, for people that are
12-hour
support
stream
mains
today.
and really wanted to have a supportive
Viewer
kind of
games all
character
night.
in this spot. So.
Yep. A lot of different questions. You do not need to
Shout out to y'all.
consume any of the pools to buff your allies, but it does increase the range of which the allies can be buffed in, technically.
When?
So,
Probably
yeah,
4 or
if you
5
hover
o'clock
over
ish. 4 or
the
5 o'clock. That
one-
way it gives us like 3 or 4 hours of it.
that's the damage taken reduction, so it's 5% base and 0.2% of health. from items
192
specifically,
gifted
and
subs
then
in the
-1
past
second
fucking 2
for
days from
every
Drago.
0.5 seconds for the
Jeez,
cooldown.
So 5% base and then health.
Wildly
And then
generous.
health from item skill.
Health from items. Yeah, just made that clear. Build Thebes, 1,000 health.
Yes, I did have to balance it around Thebes. Thebes is going to make it very good.
Best community
You know,
in
Thebes
Twitch,
and
buddy.
Yogi's necklace, like he does get some. He gets to a good chunk of damage for sure.
Especially when I go
think
in and I
that's
see y'all supporting
all the
other
gameplay
people
stuff
too.
To do with Yorm. He's got a like.
Not
I said,
that y'all are
he's-
like our or my
he's a lot
community,
similar to Smite 1
but
and
like
Smite 2 with some
kinda.
of these plus
But like I
ones and with the
see
aspect, but he's
this
just got so
community
many
of people
different
not only
scaling
supporting other
mechanisms going on
streamers,
that I wanted,
but also like
at
each
this point,
other
it's-
in
if
their
you go
in
even
their
further, then you're probably going to force things
in
more
their
than I
in
would
their
kinda
other
wanna force
streams,
things.
right? Other community members
I
to try
wanna
and make
see what ends
content.
up
Other
happening. Like, if it ends
everybody
up
in
being
here
more
supporting them as
into
well.
Yorm with aspect or support aspect ends up
community.
being way too good with the damage reduction. If it ends up being the on-hit builds, if it ends up being
Did somebody give
bruising Yorm
Drago
plus
his
on-hit
power
builds,
for the
or with more
60 something
end space.
subs he did
Let's
after
see
the
what
100?
players come up with. Let's not restrict them, and then we'll dial things in or clean things up as we have to.
Real
Did
quick,
he get
before-
the one for
before we
67
hop out of
subs?
game,
The
chat wants to see you build,
335
3
power
modes,
he
and
needs from
avatars
that?
for Rashu and pop them both and see how big he gets.
Yeah, I have no idea what happens. I don't think the ulti will inherit that.
The ulti definitely won't. But
Add golf. That's what I'm going to
add golf.
Add golf.
I don't think he did either.
Yeah, just keep yourself.
Oh my god, I'll get that.
Oh god, it might. Well, let's find out.
So
It's not gonna
Dreamers
affect
So he
and-
needs
what was the other?
Damage.
Streamers and avatars. You have to summon your
335 more
active
power.
to
I
be able
don't
to-
want to. I like Avatar.
He
Oh,
needs
did you already ensure that
335 more power.
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Okay.
It works.
Okay,
I'm about 99% sure he did not get the power for that.
let's see.
He says.
There we go.
There you go, big snake.
The huge
But this,
world.
yeah, that.
That's-
oh,
oh.
okay. So there's one
We
other
got
bug.
texture back.
There's two. I think there's one or two bugs, not the untextured one. But
Yeah,
we
big
just,
snake.
I know.
We just saw one
Shrink
there
it.
actually, which is
Thank
so
you,
these, the
Told.
flash
Thank you.
test is going live at some point. And I think there's
2 o'clock or so.
There's two bugs
Should be
that
on
we, that will probably go into them that we
Two-ish.
still haven't figured them out very well. One, which is when you ulti, his head won't be at his head location. It'll be somewhere in the middle of his body. That one we just can't figure out why it's happening.
We're working on it.
We'll
It
work
should be
on it.
fixed before we go. Also, you'll randomly see a head.
In Origin, yes.
Yeah.
So if you're playing in mid lane and you randomly see a Yorm head
Yeah.
sticking out there, yeah, those two
He's not
bugs,
really there.
We're working on trying to find out where they're from.
Other note about Flash Test from Pawn. Thank you for the reminder. Do not play as Cupid. His ability 2 does not work for Flash Test today. So if you just want to nerf yourself and play without a 2, then fine, but don't play Cupid today.
Yes.
Cooled out.
So I think that's everything to do with Yorm. Hopefully people
Bro,
enjoy playing
if-
the big snack.
Like,
Yes,
think
might
about
too.
think
We
about
should
the
go
bugs.
check out
Stuff
his
going on.
We
Ascension Pass.
will. I'm just going to make sure I
Think
don't
about
show
the bugs,
anything off because
Pharma.
I'm
Oh, do you
scared
want to
of
show?
really
Do you want to show Josh's bug?
They
first?
create the
Yeah, we can do
character
that.
or whatever,
So
right?
Josh,
They have
Josh
internal
on
people
Monday
testing all day.
mentioned, a bug where Yorm had a pancake face at first.
They have QA people working round the clock. They make gods that creates bugs. They find those bugs, they solve them. They have the ambassadors play it. We find bugs, solve them, right? They then put it in PTS where people play test it and find them. And then still, after all that, they'll release a random update that doesn't affect that character, and all of a sudden a random bug will pop up that I will specifically always find.
Gotta look at it and pronounce. Oh,
It's like a
Yeah.
squished face.
Very
Yeah.
flat.
Yeah.
Very flat.
Having a couple of
very
issues there.
flat.
Yeah. Josh says he was a technical joy. So look at the flat
Technical
face.
joy.
I actually prefer him that way.
Well,
Yeah,
me
the flat
personally,
face.
but
He-
yeah.
He's
it would
been
hurt
like a
subverted
pug
way
more
too
to
many
be
times.
hit with the flat, right? Like I don't know.
It would.
Flat
It
snack.
would. Okay. So
All right.
we can go in game again.
There's a good comment. Pug Yorm.
Oh my
I get it.
gosh.
Yeah, I see where you're going with that.
I've not unlocked this yet, but I don't think I need to. So we should be able to go back to the laptop.
The ground was
Sweet.
really hard where he
Master
landed.
System.
Dude,
Obviously.
that looks
Okay,
Nice.
okay. Actually, you know what? I'm always hit and miss on the
Start
shadow
off
skins.
with the-
Shadow skin
the
might be
base track
better
and
than
just
regular Yorm,
getting the
actually.
unlock on the base track, and then
I'm always
it'll look
super hit
like
and miss
this.
about
We also-
shadow
I feel
skins.
like I've
Like
never
some of
done
my
this before
fucking
in my
hate.
life.
Yeah.
Poison
That
burst.
might be better than
So, wait,
regular
what is that?
Yorm.
What's Poison Burst track?
Yes,
Poison
that's the
burst.
amount of times that you use like the new +1 feature.
Ah, yeah, yes. Okay.
By reaching max.
I really like that.
So immovable is his passive.
I
because it
really
made
like
more
that.
sense for the hard displacement. Now it makes a little bit less sense.
This is one of the best claps in the game.
Yes.
Can you play that one more time for people who haven't seen it
Yes,
before?
I will. I'm trying to get the right.
Yorm
angle.
obviously doesn't have any arms of his own, so he's kind of recruited an arm.
He is by
for now.
regurgitating minions. That's what's going
absolutely.
on. So the clap.
I think there was even some more
destroyed.
added sound effects added to that by Kellen too. So now the minion's a little bit less happy.
Goddess S, 425 worlds leap. This is the total distance.
It's his
traveled
clap.
over
He
and
spits
under
out
the
a
Earth.
minion and it claps and then he
That's
swallows
what
it.
this 3 end is for.
There's a little look at the Onyx.
Yeah,
Whoa,
very
it's like
golden.
Liberty Rock.
And this is
Yeah, all right,
This
all
is
right,
like
yeah.
an example of us being able to do metals better now.
Yeah.
Like so.
Yeah, I like it.
We've,
All right.
we've got metals that are actually shiny. So I,
I
think
vibe
it's,
with it.
It's like
All right, Opal.
Like
I'm
Mars.
Opal. I feel like
After
I'm not
that,
gonna.
we've also
Okay,
got
actually,
the
never mind.
Damn
I was
version.
wrong. Opal
Hell
looks sick.
yes.
It's like
I
almost
love
a
the
diamond.
I was wrong.
the neck,
I was
the
wrong.
underneath
Opal
of
looks
the
sick.
neck and the shimmering.
I was wrong.
The gold eyes are
Fantastic
actually
there.
really creepy too.
Next up is the most interesting thing I always find in the mastery passes.
I haven't even seen
is-
this.
What this is, I don't know either, but it looks. Okay. Nom 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 is the
That
name
art
of the
is so
emote.
funny.
Yeah, Ben did this.
Oh, that's good. Yep, that's great.
Okay.
Fantastic on that one.
Nom
Then we've
nom.
also
All
got
right.
the wave. He's just gonna shimmy
just-
his scales
He
on the back.
wiggles his little body. Just, what up?
We also have the World Snake title
Yes.
alongside
God kills as usual.
number of God kills, and then Jormungandr logo and the
Radiance. Man,
Radiant
still
skin.
always looks so
Yeah, it looks very clean.
good.
Ooh.
Looks great.
Yeah,
God,
like
that's
now that we got this
clean.
gold really working
Fancy.
well, like I think this looks better than ever.
Yeah, the segments of the body look really nice.
The gold